What's going on YouTube? It's Jose with Jay's Mobile Auto Glass. Today I am doing a back glass on a Hummer H2, and this is the middle portion that slides up and down. As you can see, I already have some stuff taken apart and I already have the panel. Normally I don't get this far in a video without you guys seeing how I take things apart. I couldn't find my GoPro and I had to get started on this. This is the panel. The panel is actually very easy to take off. These two 10mm bolts are just what holds the brackets here where the old window was being held onto by. And well, I'll show you this portion too. So these brackets have two little I guess little grooves here that kind of lock onto the bracket there. So then it sits there and you bolt it on and then you unbolt it. I already vacuumed out this panel inside. Very easy panel to vacuum out. Should be no excuse to have any glass there. This does not have any weeping holes like door panels do, or back or hatches. So make sure you guys vacuum out all of it. You don't want any glass to come out. And I'm gonna have to vacuum it again because I just saw more glass fall out. I might just grab it. So I might just give it a little hit. A lot of the glass will be stuck in here. As to removing this, I wouldn't remove it. It looks like there's some looks like it's riveted. This little rubber piece is riveted on. I wouldn't remove it just because you might end up ripping it and causing it to leak, and that's something you do not want. Let's walk to this other side. Again, this is the Hummer H2 that has the little truck on the side, and you are able to bend the back seat forward to put more stuff in there. As you can see, you don't have a lot of room in here, but they accommodated for that. This Hummers are what is it? Is a Chevy brand or GM brand? Sorry, not Chevy. So let me see where this rest of this glass went in here. I'm trying to get as much of this glass out as I can because I don't want any rattling in here. And honestly, I didn't see. That's something I saw. Like, I looked in the groove here too to make sure I didn't have any glass. I think what fell out was from here, these little holes. But I'm gonna make sure I didn't leave any glass in here because once I seal her up with you guys, I'm gonna be done. These are the connectors. These are the sensor, little sensor pushers you put, the buttons you push. You have to push both at the same time while the vehicle is on, and this will fold down. If you're having mechanism problems, I'm not sure how you would be able to manually get that back hatch here to fold back. But I'm really not sure, to be honest on that. Anyways, we did order the back glass. I'm not sure. I did not want to waste time for the transfer from Migrant, just in case it was wrong. So what I did is we ordered one from the dealership OEM. I gave them the van, told them what we needed, and they were able to help us with this. So, and there you can see the motor. We were able to drop this all the way down. Maybe having a little bit of basket, if you have someone else that can help you, really good, because the glass, I'm not sure how long it is. Judging by how tall this is, glass is going to be about, I'd say maybe like this tall, maybe once I pull it out, maybe a little bit longer because it is going to have to bolt in there. So what we're gonna do is grab the glass, and hopefully we're able to slide it in there without any trouble. I'm gonna bring some glass cleaner because glass cleaner always does help. My counter is a mess, so I'm gonna walk over here and grab the new glass so y'all can take a look at it. So the glass is not really that big, and it is just a bolt in, 2 bolts holding it down. I'm gonna kind of walk carefully because if this glass, we waited about 4 days for this glass from Michigan, so I don't want to have to wait again. Let me grab a glass cleaner before I hop in this vehicle. I'm watching my footing. I'm gonna actually rest this glass like so right here. Just kind of let it rest there gently. And I'll be right back, guys. Let me grab a glass cleaner. Okay, I have a glass cleaner. I probably should have sprayed it before, but it's all good. I'm just gonna spray the glass itself just to see if that helps a little bit there. This is where the tricky part's gonna be. I'm gonna have to either hop on there. I'm gonna move some of these tools and my phone, just because I'm gonna have a little bit of a tricky time trying to put the glass in there while I'm trying to light and show you guys everything. I'm gonna see if I can get this to go more here. This Milwaukee little light does a good little trick to it. So what we're gonna do is I think lift this up. I'm gonna set it on the soft part of the rear seat. There we go, on the carpet portion. I'm gonna raise this up. what I'm gonna do is show you guys something I was doing earlier. So with the long pig's foot, I kind of rest it there. Now I'm gonna kind of just set it in that hole there. And now we have access to being able to kind of slide it in there. So now if you have glass cleaner, you'll be able to kind of get a little bit of glass cleaner on those lips, a little lube. So far, to take off everything apart and vacuuming, I'd say 15 minutes. It wasn't very hard. Now I'm gonna sit in here. I'm gonna get this vacuum cleaner out of the way, move some of these tools because I think I'm gonna have to be very awkward, especially that metal ratchet. I don't trust a lot of stuff touching the glass just because I'm not, I know ceramic, like what is it, spark plugs can break a piece of tempered glass, and I don't want that to happen ever. It will eventually happen, maybe. Randomly one day your tempered glass will just explode on you for no apparent reason, and not till later you find out why. So, all right, let me get a good seat in here. So what I'm gonna do actually, it's just kind of awkward by yourself. Again, if you have someone else here, that would be 10 times better. So, also, folding the driver and passenger seat may help. I'm actually gonna have to wait a little bit. Give me a second, guys, because the only reason I'm having trouble is I just realized that that once we open the lips, we're gonna have to get this. We're gonna have to kind of get the glass to open up a good little bit for the latches. These are pretty big, and they might fight us. So what I'm gonna do is sit in here again and just wish me luck. All right, so guys, I had to jump and set the glass down to show you guys what I'm actually gonna do. So only the middle front portion of the rubber right here will allow you to pull off some of it. So what I'm gonna do is actually wiggle some of it off without completely taking it off, just to give me that extra room to be able to get the glass in there. Again, we don't have to completely take off this rubber, just enough to give us that extra room right there to get those latches to go in. And what we are going to do is how I was doing it earlier, which was from one side and just kind of sliding it into that portion in there. And once we get in there, we should be fine. All right, this is attempt number 2, so let's try this again. Again, I didn't want to have to remove it because I wasn't sure if it was riveted, but this is a pretty tight aluminum piece, so do keep that in mind when you put it back on, that you're going to have to kind of crimp it or something once you lower the window down, or when you use a rubber mallet to go back into place. Make sure your hands are dry. Another reason why I don't use gloves is because on some of these tempered parts is you run the risk of not having a good grip on a glass. Again, I'm always careful when it comes to tempered because I do not trust what's behind me and what's in front of me. Hold that there. Now we're gonna hop up here. Now with one of my knees, I'm gonna try this again. So we're gonna try and get this window to go up. I mean, stay up at a good position with the pry bar maybe. The pry bar will do its thing there, okay? See if this works this time. I just needed it to get kind of started in there. I'm gonna use my knee. I have to be very careful because I'm hitting something up here. I'm not sure what it is, so. I have no idea what the heck just fell over there. Okay. As I said earlier, I think for this one, having another pair of hands really would help. Just because how much trouble I'm having alone with this. I feel like if you're by yourself, you're gonna have just as much trouble with the window. And again, do not let go of the window because it will drop. I'm using my knees. Okay, I got this half in. I'm gonna wait here. Kind of hold the window up a little bit. Maybe just using your knees will help here. Again, do not force her. If she doesn't want to go in, take your time with this. Do not bend the window either too much. And one of the issues we're having is that, okay. What I'm gonna do is pull this one out so that way it gives me a little bit of leverage. And what we're stuck on is the inner lip. That's why I said the inner lip kind of sucks. It throws me back up. So we're gonna get in there. Okay. And something behind my back is hurting me, so. And again, we're stuck on something, and now I gotta find it. Sorry, I'm looking for a fiber tool. I don't think we would be stuck on the pinch weld here, but it seems like we are. That goes in, but this side. All right, there we go. We are in. That took a minute. I'm sorry. So what I'm going to say is there's only one way this glass will go in, and that's with in one particular direction. You're not. I'm going to take a look here and see why. See if it will let me know. But it could be that there's more of an opening toward this end here than there is in the middle. Than trying to slide it. I mean, you could possibly get one side to slide, get in, but I don't know if the bad thing is you do have the motors here, the cables here, so you're not able to actually, in this portion, you're not able to kind of slide because you do have the motor brackets here in the way. We are ready to bolt her on though, you guys can see. So what we'll do is put the 10mm back on her and go from there. We should not have issues with this because it is, again, OEM. Only thing I'm seeing here is one, seems like only one wants to go in at this point. I'm not sure. Maybe we're not lined up. There we go. Needs to go down a little bit more. There we go, that's what it was. All right. Now, I got my Milwaukee ratchet. Again, I think two people would have done great. Someone from the outside, just watching the rubber. Before I tie it, I'm gonna make sure. Actually, I'm in this groove here. I'm in that one, and I'm in this one. So I'm just gonna snug it, not too tight. Even though it's on the metal bracket, I don't like to tighten too much, just enough to where I know I get a good grip. All right, we do have the window in there. Now again, this will not go down unless you have the whole glass motor on down. It won't unless you have it the switch all the way down. So it will not go. It will not detect that the window's down. It will not go up. Now that we have all that up there, we're gonna go ahead and put this rubber grommet back in its place. I already cleaned it out. Again, one of my biggest rules, if you guys have seen my videos, is always make sure you put the rubber, you clean that rubber grommet as well as you can. Oh, I'm blind for a little bit. Give me a second, guys. See? And you can still hear glass, and that's why I hate. Because again, it's always an awkward. There we go. I'm gonna check the other corner now, just because see this other corner, nothing in there, but it's always just good to double check. This rubber just pulls right off, so I did not have difficulties pulling it back on or taking it off, so it really did not fight me as much as I thought it was. GM made this pretty easy. I know I'm kind of huffing right now, but overall it is pretty easy. Before you lower your glass, make sure nothing will stab it in there. So to make sure, I'm gonna actually put that up there, set that like that so it doesn't drop and break my new glass that we waited a few days. They did offer a Migrant did offer an aftermarket, but again, we weren't sure if it was gonna be the right one, and this customer had been rescheduled with the big brand, the big S brand. I don't like to say their name too much on my YouTube channels, but they've been rescheduled. He had to wait about 11 days just for them to tell him that they had the wrong glass. I think they said they got this glass, which I'm glad he didn't break that glass, because I have no idea how much in depth that's gonna take to get in there. So maybe we'll get another one. Oddly enough, a few days ago, like almost 2 weeks ago, I ran into this one of these Hummers, and I asked myself how you did the back glass on this if it were to break, and a few days later, or 2 weeks later, we have to do one. So that's always entertaining. It seems as if the plastic goes behind, so I'm gonna fold that lip in a little second there. I'm gonna go ahead and get her. I'm gonna get this lip to go back in there. Again, it was pretty stiff, so a rubber mallet might help, and whatever little pieces, I'm not gonna stick a vacuum in here just because it wasn't a lot. All right, walk back to the other side. Again, this panel is so easy to take off, so don't worry that I didn't show you guys in the beginning. You're actually gonna be surprised at how easy that panel comes off. Now, again, we're gonna get this lip behind this plastic trim. Okay. There we go, we got her nice and in there. Now, this looks like it goes up behind the headliner, so I feel like the trim would look better if the headliner covered it, but I will, I'll debate on that in a second, because what could be is that now we do have the lip here, so I gotta make sure that this lip goes back on the body, on this frame, and there we go. Now when pulling off this rubber piece, it is tight. So, and I don't recommend taking the whole thing off. I think it is riveted, or might have a plastic trim piece. If you're confident enough where you want to remove this whole rubber, front and back, I think it's a one piece, but you can remove only the front, and it helps you avoid. All right, we got the glass bolted. We got the buttons here. Door is locked in there, which is cool. It still feels like there's a little bit of play. Maybe once we close it all together. I'm gonna take another look in here, make sure there's no glass, take my hands. We got a little bit of glass here, not a whole lot. Again, I'm just checking to see, make sure there's no more glass. These are where the heated connectors go. Please do not forget. I almost forgot, to be honest. In every video, I feel like I always forget something, so this one might have been the heated connectors. All right, again, check in here. Okay, cool. So now that we have the window bolted and everything, this is something else, so don't worry about that. We're gonna go ahead and put the panel piece back on. You will have to disconnect these sensors real quick, so you can put this the panel back on. These sensors. What I did was use a poker tool. Kind of just open that up a little bit. Don't break it, because then you don't want the buttons to be coming out or have a false connection in it. So again, we have the window back in. Okay. Typically at this point, I do recommend maybe instead of, before I put it on, testing out your window to make sure it goes up and down. So we're gonna probably do that, but I already disconnected the sensor, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put the panel back on. Again, the panel's so easy to take off that I'm not too worried about that. I will, however, make sure I leave the left and the right, or the right and the left, in their correct positions. You do not want to get them mixed up. All right, here is the panel. The panel did have a little bit of double-sided tape here, or double-sided foam tape here, so if it goes on, cool. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. So if you have a little bit of double-sided tape or a little bit of glue just to get her to stay on, to seal it. All right, we got the panel back on in here. Now what we're gonna do is do half at a time. We don't wanna, we're gonna do this guy first. Again, that's why I said having another person on the other side will make a tremendous help on this one, and I think this one probably would be better to have two people on it. So what I'm gonna do is kind of just put in this rubber piece. There we go. We're gonna leave that floating for a bit, just until I get the and it probably fell off, but oh no, it's okay. So cool beans. Okay. All right. Now that we have all that in, I'm gonna try and get this to clip back on. Okay. Fiber tool, I have one here. I think a fiber tool will do great here, just because if you use anything metal, you run the risk of you just run the risk of ripping the gasket. And as you can tell, it's already wanting to. I don't recommend hitting it just yet. I don't know why I would hit it, but now I just made my job a little bit harder here to get this to lip over. But we're gonna just get this to lip over. A little twist action there. If you ever done any Freightliners, you know this is how you do a lot of the windshields on those bad boys, Cascadias. Oh, over there. Okay, we got some clips here. Now you have a few panel clips here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. That's odd. It's an odd number, but usually it's always even numbers. Make sure you don't lose any. I did vacuum one up, so that is the bad thing about that. I did vacuum one up, so I'll have to open up my vacuum in a second and get her out. Or I vacuum something up. While we're on this side, we're gonna connect the sensor. Be careful if by chance this sensor does come apart here, and there's a spring that goes in between this that allows it to create the connection to let the computer or let the vehicle know that you're trying to open the back hatch. So if you lose that spring, you're kind of screwed. You'll have it making faulty connection, or you can pull it out manually. I think you can still make a connection by just kind of pushing. It'll just be kind of dangling. It'll be limp. So also this sensor has like wings on it. You have to get these wings to kind of push into itself like that, and then you are able to pull the sensor out toward you once you disconnect this. It's a little tricky to do. Took me a second. So what I'm gonna do is kind of just shove her back in there. Okay. It does have two. The hole does have two grooves where it tells you where it wants to go in. So there's one, and this one is 2. I'm gonna say it just goes right there in the middle like that. Now it might go in easy or it might go in hard, and it actually went in a lot easier than it did coming out. I am gonna have to fix it though, because some of the wings. A little hair panel here. Oh, let me see. Get some light. As you can tell, it wants to go in that little side, so we're gonna have to kind of twist it up there. I'm looking for my little poker tool. I'm gonna try to align that back up there so it goes in. Here it is. I was sitting right on it. What I'm gonna do is kind of get her. What I might do is just pop it back out, just because it is fighting me a little bit here. All right, so let's pull her back out and start over. Okay, so we have, let's do it the other way, since this one's a little bit more. Again, it only goes in one way, so If it fights you, try the other way. It had 2 holes, so I kind of thought it would go more like this, but it actually, okay, so it does only go one way, so it went a lot easier the other way. I got a vacuum, again, behind the seat. There's a panel clip right there. So we dropped one. So we're gonna put this one back in there. Okay. Again, I might have vacuumed 1 or 2. I'm missing 1, 2, 3. I'll find them in a second. I might put them down here where the phone is. But we're gonna go ahead and connect the, oh, there's one over there. We're gonna go ahead and connect the sensor too, and then test it out for y'all. Put one here. So we're missing 2. We'll find them in a second. Not the end of the world, and they don't look like they're anything special in case we do have to replace one because you ripped one or something of the sort. All right, same thing as this one. We have the sensor. Let's put the light here so y'all can see. Connect it. There we go. So this time again, the bigger hole's over there, and we got a smaller one there. So you want to look where the one that has the tab. The tab is on this side. Y'all can see this one has a tab right here. So we're gonna kind of shove that wire in there. Bend the wings. I'm gonna call these wings a little bit, and then just kind of see, it goes on a lot easier like that than me trying to do it the other way. I thought they were even. This just confused me. I thought it was a sensor, but again, this is something I was using to pry. So we're only missing 2 clips, but we're gonna go ahead and test this out and fix this molding before I forget. Again, guys, these videos are to help you time, and just so you guys don't spend as much time as I do. But this job is a lot. I thought I'd have to remove the seats. I thought I was gonna have to take half the car apart, but honestly, 30-minute job. I don't see this job taking anyone more than 30 minutes, unless there's just unless the motor for some weird reason gave you a lot of trouble. But even if the motor gave you trouble, you'd be testing it with your customer. Always have your customer out when you do this stuff. Take before and after pictures. You don't want to do this job and your customer want to blame you for motor issues when they're the ones that kind of broke their glass. And again, when something breaks, doesn't always mean that everything else is going to be in good shape, especially depending on how it was broken. Over time, this will massage down. I want to hammer that side a little bit just to make it a little bit more flush. All right, we got this whole panel on. Just testing it, giving her a few slaps. I know we are forgetting those 2 clips, but let's go ahead and test our new window and see what happens. I'm just gonna take a look at the back, make sure the back looks nice and flush there where it can. Here, this little lip could go inside. Fix her. Alrighty. Now let's fix this one. Let's take a little look back here. Again, you don't want to not set this rubber piece correctly, or you do run the risk of leaking. So, and that's not what you want, is leak, especially because this Hummer seems like it has a lot of trim on it, and not something we need. Phone calls for water leaks. All right, let's test her out, and we'll be done. The switch for this is on the left right here. Or if you're, on the left side, if you're sitting inside the vehicle. Let's go ahead and test it. Cross our fingers. Now we're not going up or down at all, so I'm gonna check to see why. Maybe the door isn't closed or something of the sort. Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry, I had to answer that phone call. Now let's see why we're not up in there. Oh, what I'm gonna do is re-shut it down. So I guess when you open it, you can go one side at a time and get it to lower down. So let's take a look. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and shut it. All right, we're gonna go from there and put the window up and see what happens. Again, we did not disconnect the motor in there, and Luckily, the panel's not too hard to take off if we have to see something. So again, this is why. And there we go. We got the window going up. I wish you guys could see a little bit better. Here. I'm going slow, just in case I hear a glass. I want to go down. And there we go. We got the window up. Now we can go ahead and test it normal. I did not hear any glass, so let's go automatic down. I always show my customers my hands when I do that, because sometimes some people will trick them. Automatic up. So there is a squeaking from the rubber. We're gonna give that time, maybe lube it up a little bit, help it out. It is a new glass, old rubber. See what's going on and see if it can help it later on. So again, if your glass is making a lot of noise like mine is, just kind of put a fiber tool in between there. Not too much pressure, be careful, and just make sure you kind of like, or some glass cleaner to help moisturize that lip. So other than that, guys, that is how you do a rear glass replacement on a Hummer H3. The middle piece slide portion that is heated. Again, this is a GM glass. I think that you can get an aftermarket. Just make sure they measure it for you before, or get your supplier to check it out to make sure it is the correct one. Against that other company was getting him the left and the right. No idea how or why they were doing that over and over again, but even then I think it wouldn't be too much trouble to take this off. Just remove all this trim and go from there. Make sure you guys give a thumbs up if this helped you. If not, leave a thumbs down. Again, you guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys later, and join the Discord, please. All right, later.